Good morning and welcome back to the Beef and Barnzy show. And we got a little different edition for you today as Texas is in a winter not so wonderland. So basically just a average day in February for Wisconsin, but for Texas, this is the apocalypse. And so power's out, Stu is out, no power, no water. He's enjoying himself. So we've significantly upgraded the aesthetics of our program today by bringing on my lovely wife, Linda with a Y. How are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to a hot shower at some point, hopefully soon, but thankful that we have heat.
We do have heat, not so much water. And so today will be a hot day on the Beef and Barnzy show. And, so 3 inches of snow and everybody's freaking out around here, but the temps actually are causing more issues than anything else. So water freezing, pipes freezing, and pools, they don't drain them around here. And so they're freezing over, and there's going to be a lot of plumbing work in the next couple weeks.
Yep. I hope they put our address on their list.
Yeah.
Anybody knows anybody?
If anybody knows anybody, yeah, there you go. And bright and early, first in. My mom, it's already saying hi. Well, with no further ado, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to try and share this thing out to where it needs to go to. But
I was going to do the same thing.
There you go. I would like to bring in someone that you and I have both known for the better part of 20, probably closer almost 25 years. Let's just call it that.
Yeah.
He has 7 titles on the PBA Tour, and anyone who watched the Players Championship South region last weekend got to see a little bit about what we've known about this man for a long time, as he is not afraid of the moment. In those 7 titles, he's been no stranger to tight matches, and had 4 of them on his way to winning the South Players Regional Championship on his way to the final and his chance for his first major. The OG THB Richie Dick Allen. From parts unknown.
He could be our child, Chris. That's how long we've known him.
He when we originally knew Dick, he was Richie, and he was living in Tulsa / Oklahoma City. I don't know. He was around a lot of places.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to talk. Yeah, it's
fun times, man. The one I remember most is probably the longest I can go back with you guys is probably a high roller match with Chris and the New Year's Eve party at Anne Marie's.
The New Year's Eve party at Anne Marie's is the one I remember.
The end of the world.
Yeah.
That was 1999/2000, right?
Yep.
And we were out on the compound that is the Dugans.
That place is pretty cool.
It was very cool. Yeah, we have a lot of people in here already. The Portland MVP.
I do my best wherever I go. That's all I can do.
And she's gone. All right.
Huh. It's a good run.
Yeah, it was a good run. All right. Well, it looks like it'll be you and me for a minute until she makes her way back. She'll be fine. Linda with a Y.
There we go. So
there you go.
I must have touched something. You know, women are allowed to touch buttons, remotes. I must have touched it. Sorry.
I don't touch the computer at home at all.
No.
I just push buttons.
I was just trying to look at the comments. Say hi. Just trying to be social.
Yeah. Here we go.
That was a fun night. I'm sorry I missed 2 seconds of you there. But we all decided if we were going down, we were going down together. Right?
Well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure at the time that was the crowd I was really supposed to go down with, but
Hey,
It's. I mean, hey, yeah. I was just a lowly guy who bowled league and who happened to know Tiffany at the time. That was my only deal back then.
Richie, if I remember, I can't call you Richie now. I got to call you Dick. If I remember right, we had a very serious conversation on the backyard deck during that night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was drunk amongst more and fun in the night, and I can't tell you what that life-changing conversation was about.
I was going to bring it up, but if you don't remember it, I don't know.
You barely knew it while it was going on, if I remember right. I'm not sure we were much behind you.
No, we were. It was
No idea.
We all had a good time. But I do have a question for you. Can I jump in, Chris? Can I just start?
Absolutely.
Okay. So my question is this. I remember distinctly having a conversation with you that night about our kiddos and hello, Kat. And role models with bowling. It was something around that kind of thing. So now that you have 3 of your own kiddos and you're this huge role model on TV, you're striking all the time, you're the guy that they're all looking up to. What kind of role model do you want to be? What's your goal?
Man, I mean, my life has changed dramatically over the last decade, obviously, and my priorities changed. Being a good dad is first and foremost for me. Bowling is a little vacation. It's a little escape. And I still want to compete and do the best that I can, just like I always have. I just think that the last decade of my career, I've matured beyond. I should have been there probably a little sooner in my career. So as a role model, I would say to the young kids, keep your head out of your ass. It'll work out better.
We have a new T-shirt quote. So there we go.
Head out of your.
I don't know how Safe Sport certified it is, but it's it's not bad advice.
No, hashtag plexotomy.
Now you have a few nicknames. THB. I'll let you go ahead and explain it and the story behind it, because I think there's a lot of people. Well, maybe not. I don't know. A lot of people know about THB and how you refer to yourself as that. None of us do, but other than that's what you call yourself. Go ahead and tell us that story. I always find this one interesting.
So I'm sure a lot of you guys know who Steve Zabina is. Steve Zabina, friend of mine back in the day when I bowled at Windsor Lanes all the time in Oklahoma City, and he hooked me up with Bill Hall. And I don't know, Sunday morning, Monday morning, something like that. I'd been out all weekend putting my head, places where it shouldn't have gone, and I came into practice, and they didn't oil all weekend, old wood lanes, and I had already had a regional title. I was excited. I won in Shawnee in '99. I was excited to work with Bill, and I got there early, and Bill was throwing like a tie pace spinner, and he was messing around. And I started to put things on, and I started warming up, and I threw like 3 shots. And he was like, "Well, I can already tell it seems like your product of today's high scoring blended systems and high powered bowling balls, and I mean basically your typical house bowler." And I was like, okay. And I put my shoes on, and I thanked Steve, and I left. And that was, then I took that name to the PBA forum where I was THB, and then I took it to the stuff.
You might have been breaking up a little bit, just so people understood what was going on. With Bill Hall, who at the time was Norm, Danny Wiseman. He was kind of the tour guy at the time. Him and John Jowdy were the 2 guys that were out there working with all the pros. You're an aspiring teenager, and he went with you're the typical house bowler.
Yeah.
And you threw, how many more shots did you throw after that?
I didn't throw anymore. I just put my shoes on and left. Yeah. Now, if you want to know something a little more interesting, when I started reworking my grip, I talked to Norm a little bit, and then I reached out to I bowled the big dog tournament here in town, the local tournament. 2 different houses. Just scratch. They get like 100-something entries and cut to the top 80. I shot like 40 over, and I barely made it out of the first 4 games to the other center. And I missed a lot of spares. I bowled better at the other plays. I didn't cash. I lost money. I laughed at myself. Like, wow, this new grip is amazing already. Let's go, baby. Got a couple weeks till we bowl some big tournaments. I'm not ready. Not ready at all. And I reached out to Bill, and we started talking about my grip. And then he said, "Hey, send me a picture, send me a video of two spare shots, 8, 10 pin, and let me check those out. One good one bad one." And I was like, "Yeah, perfect. I got you covered." So I shot the first one, and I barely made it, and I was like, "Yeah, that was pretty bad." And then the second one, I hit it right in the face, and I sent him the videos, and then we started working on my footwork. He was like, "Your hand looks fine," and we started working on my footwork. And the first 3 days, the players, I only started doing the footwork thing about a week before the Players' Championship even started. And combined with the grip, everything felt pretty good. And we went right out there, and the first 3 rounds were kind of not so good. The spear shooting was bad. And the 4th round, everything just fell right into sync. And then apparently it was still in sync when I went down to Jupiter. So currently working with Bill. I've been holding off talking to him again because I don't want to introduce anything new until the tournament's actually over. And everything that we worked on so far has got me to this point. So I'm not gonna progress any further until probably after the show. So he's got some stuff to work with. He's got some video footage now that I don't have to send him anymore. And we've got stuff that we can critique and move forward on. So we've gone full circle with Bill.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Bill is still coaching. He's out and about, and he's coaching a long ways. And you far progressed beyond typical house bowler status.
Thank you very much.
And ascended right into filled outright.
That is, we're filling out correctly.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Beef and Barnzy Beef from Austin / the new frozen tundra of the South.
Yeah, I'm only coming on to say hello. We made it to Angie's house. It was a 15-minute drive that took 40 minutes. But we've now got heat, so that's good. They gave us the old tease this morning. It came on for 20 minutes. That was useful. Off for 30 hours, on for 20 minutes. Thanks. Appreciate it.
There you go.
So I just wanted to come in and say nice work, Dick.
Thank you.
Pretty impressive.
I did my best.
I'm pretty sure your rev rate got up to 525 on a couple of those shots.
Well, there's already a debate going on, and I hate to break it to everybody, but I was lofting it, and I was only probably on about 85%. I didn't want to overhit it. So bowling on a shorter lane, it can't measure that extra rev rate in the air the first 12 feet or so. I'm easily 450 right now, if I want to be.
I did think it was funny. God bless Randy that they spent, and I love me some Jesper, but they did spend more time talking about the fact that he had a 600 rev rate rather than the fact that you actually won.
Hey, man, I've been ignored for longer than people have been interested, so it doesn't bother me.
Well, all right. Well, I'll leave you guys to it. I'm sure that you can you can hold down the fort pretty well. I just it's pretty cold.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like this in Texas, Christopher.
All right. Had Evidently not. We don't have much hot water here. That's why we're all in hats this morning. So.
Oh, we had hot water for the majority of the day until we didn't have any water at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the water treatment plants shut down. So that's cool.
All right. All right. Well,
I'll leave you to it. I'm gonna go and find somewhere warm.
Stay safe, stay warm. Hug that family.
Guys.
See you soon, buddy.
Safe, guys. Hopefully.
No kidding.
well, have a good one, Stu. Stay warm. And
take it easy.
All right.
Bye.
Later.
Well, let's go back to the show. So, you bowled in the South, which is really low scoring to get there. They were hard. I think there was the lowest scoring of all the regions. Is that center related or / pattern related?
No, I mean, I felt like the patterns were nice enough. I didn't think there was anything crazy with them. Some of the shorter ones you could easily miss the head pin left. If you were playing in and kind of hooking it and cut one short. But I think for the most part, it was just hard to keep strings going there because of how the pins fell. You need the extra power there was good. It really was.
It mattered. So you move over to, was it Jupiter or Tampa or
Jupiter?
Jupiter, that's right. So you move to Jupiter for the shows. You bowl in a different pattern. Often when you move to a different venue, the scoring pace changes significantly anyway, not to mention it's a different pattern anyway. An advantage to bowl last show because the scoring pace changed so much?
I don't know. I mean, I just bowl when it's my turn, man. They tell me when to show up and I bowl.
Some things never change.
I was there early. I'm not gonna lie. I was there early, paying attention, keeping notes. I bowled on the practice pairs plenty enough. And then, I got to watch every show. So, I mean, I kind of knew what was going on. I knew it was going to take strikes, and I hate that kind of environment. I'd rather keep 214 to, 197. But
that's not a very typical house bowler attitude.
Yeah.
No, I agree. So, but, I know that the show coming up, I need those guys to shoot spares. I mean, there's more power, there's more rev rate. Those guys can generate more angle. Every single one of those guys is a major champion. I mean, this show is obviously much tougher than the last show, even though the last show was incredibly tough. I mean, two lefties probably helped the scoring pace on the right side stay even better for myself. But the next time around on the next show, you don't have that luxury. So, I mean, hopefully the scoring environment goes down a little bit because those guys are just, left of each other and fighting to be the first man up the top of the hill. And, maybe some bad things happen, some over-exaggerated misses happen that can work in my favor, just marching through the field again.
I mean, there is rev rate on this final show, but I mean, Frankie's there, so that's not, that's not crazy high. Troops is high, but he doesn't necessarily play left.
I mean, you got Frankie though. Frankie's got a high circumference track on his bowling ball too. I mean, his ball touches a lot of the lane. So if he uses any surface at all, he's not doing anyone any favors. So, I mean, you ask him, he's 480.
Well, yeah. Well, we asked you, and you were 550. So, I mean,
we got to do what we got to do to get by.
For the purpose of, as far as Zeke's concerned, I agree with you. However, Specto did tell a slightly different story for both of you.
Like I said, it can't measure it. It can't measure that rev rate in the air over those dots.
I feel you, man. I feel you. So
I did. I want you to know that I did look at Chris during that show and go, why do they keep talking about his low rev rate? For me, it didn't make. Because I know you and I've seen you bowl for many years, it just didn't correlate to me at all.
Well, my numbers have gone up. I can see it in my pin reaction and in my ball reaction down lane. Taking all that away out of the fingers. I mean, I was at 3/8 away at times, and my hand can't handle that. So bringing that back down to 0 and actually feeling that ledge and everything spiked right back. I took all the forward out of my thumb, and everything just went right back up, hitting it on the upswing, feeling all the ledges, and the ball just reads a whole lot better. So I mean, I can't complain. I mean, I know it's not a huge jump, but I'm not asking to get the 480 or anything. 400 is a great number for me, and I'm fine with that.
Well, I think more importantly is like you're talking about, you're hitting it on the up and you're delaying. It's where, not so much how much. And what you proved consistently in that show is you could create plenty of angle down lane where you needed it. Wes does much of the same thing. His rev rate's actually not that high. Pete's is lower than all of us and can create more down lane reaction than pretty much any of us. So it's really way more about how sometimes than.
I think they said some great things on the show about how you're not afraid to let it go when it matters. How do you get yourself in a space where you go, I'm just gonna let it go. Because you could tell and you do going high flush. What do you do for that?
I mean, it's the same thing I do when I'm practicing. I mean, for the head somewhere it shouldn't have been. I didn't go to school. I didn't go to the Team USA stuff. My coaching was very limited. I mean, there were a lot of times I just bowled against the quarter. Heads is a strike and tails is a spare. I mean, quarter is like it's harder than Walter Ray. In the long run. I mean, it teaches you certain things. That mentally that you have to do. You have to prepare to get up and make the best shot you can. In any given situation, whether it's to take the lead from a quarter in the 7th frame and hopefully, hold on and hopefully it kind of paces out, and you catch a couple. And that's kind of what bowling is, especially in those tight games. And, that's probably odd little things like that. I mean, I know when I was younger, there were times where I'd do like 15 or 20 jumping jacks before I got up there and threw a shot. Just the fact that, your heart's racing now, your blood's pumping, and, you got to go up there and make the best shot you can. And if your body can't function under those types of situations, even the most mundane situations like that, they may be silly, but, man, sometimes, they work if you use them the right way, I guess.
So I mean, you won in Lubbock on a lap, had double an 8 in the 10th frame to win that one. I believe the one in Dallas, a long time ago, your first title, I want to say you had to do something there to strike to win.
Yeah, stuck in the 9th to set it up, and I needed the first one.
There you go. And then you've always been an action guy. I've never been afraid of the moment. So, what do you? My opinion is basically everyone feels the nerves in the situation, the adrenaline. What do you do? What place do you put yourself in that allows you to be so successful in those spots?
I mean, like I said, when I'm practicing, I'm practicing the same way as I am when I'm about to throw that same shot. I mean, it always telling yourself the most positive thing that has obviously no connection to anything negative whatsoever. I mean, just like the golfers, you're like, oh, you can't tell yourself don't hit it in the bunker. You're probably going to hit the bunker. You're going to cross it even further left the other way, whatever. The same thing goes to bowling. Like only thing you do is, I mean, that I can do, not necessarily anyone else. Everything's different for everybody. But the only thing that I can do is go through my simple little process and pretend it's the same shot as it was the first frame, as it is the 3rd frame, as it is the 10th frame to move on TV. That same shot that I threw in adjustments, I guess, the only thing focused on before you even throw the shot. So you can practice maybe you're blinking out and you're just focusing on that particular shot. But I mean, all that other time spent in between, you know, what do I want to accomplish on that shot that I have to throw next? You know, I'm not ever worried about, you know, what happens if I miss. You know, I'm only focused on like the shot. I struck in the. I took my re-rack in the ninth. I set myself up for victory by making a good shot and taking my time and just going through that process. And in the 10th frame, that whole time in between, I'm telling myself, no matter what Jesper does, I expect him to strike out anyways. You know, he strikes out 260. I need the first one, and I need good count. So, and I know the right lane feels more wet dry. It wants to bark off the drive and whatnot. I've already made my move to keep my eyes up. Those are all things that I'm about in between the 9th frame and me throwing that no shot. Nothing, yes, but even if he goes spare strike, I'm still going to make that adjustment. I'm still going to make that shot that I planned on making. And it's evident that I didn't want to go high. And that was the first shot all day that I literally like went half pocket on and went light and kind of ripped the rack. That one had to be firm. That one had there was no out the window. There was get with it at the bottom. Like 10th frame, I said I know I'm going to need one, if not all. I said I got to square up just a little more, make a good shot, and you know everything else is out the window. You know, there's no other thoughts. You know, it's just literally the adjustment's been made, focused on that adjustment, and go make that shot. Whatever happens after that is whatever happens. So, but you got to put yourself in the frame of mind to you made the adjustment, you've committed to it, and then go make that shot.
Cliff Bynes in here.
Go ahead.
Says this Dick guy is way smarter than that Richie fella. Good luck, bro.
I would let that guy talk to my kids for sure.
Peter Griffin, that's Charlie Tapp. He knows a thing or two about bowling on TV and winning titles. And congratulations, a great performance. I agree. You know, and I think it's really interesting how different people look at it. Tommy has a process that serves him pretty well. You have a process. Now, is your thought process, is it about an actual process thought or about a result? You're trying to strike, you comes from your hand, or are you trying to?
So obviously, you know, you're going to have different thoughts in between different frames. Like the very first shot against Tom in the first game was awful. And I didn't recognize at the back of my thumb. It sweated up a little bit and got a little moisture on the back of it. You know, and my first focus from there on out was if I need to make good shots, I need to have the back of my thumb dry. So I put the fan on there immediately, adjustment made, pay attention to the lane, pay attention to your ball, and make a better shot. You know, so I mean, you already know how you throw it the match. You already know the ball you're throwing pretty much. Yeah. I mean, there's I guess I put myself in a position most of the time to not leave any questions either. I mean, maybe that's why my process is so much simpler on TV. You know, there's so many more options. You know, as you move pair to you follow, if you want to adhere to the ball, and that's where I'm probably my least successful time. And then, but you know, on the show, you've gotten this far with the game plan you've had. You've been able to narrow things down. You've been able to pinpoint what works. You can attack with that, and you know that's your main weapon. And I would assume that having much simpler processes should be better. You know, I mean, I'm fully committed to every shot I throw on the show. I think I have a 160, a 180, and 190. And the 180 was at the U.S. Open. I bowled a pretty good game. I can't really come out, but 190 and the 160 on regular patterns. I can look back at those and say, man, there was a lot of indecisions that I made on those shows, and I can see how much more unsuccessful I was. So, and I'll even count when I lost to Pepe. You know, I think I needed to add a piece of tape, and I didn't. And you know, forward through the middle, almost missed it on the spare shot. I still didn't add it. And then split again, and then you know, make a good shot, and you squeeze it, and you pocket 710, and just like that, everything you had is gone. Dumbass, put the piece of tape in next time. Like, so those are, when you can eliminate decisiveness, you're always going to be better off, I think. And I think for the most part in my television career, I've been real decisive in what I'm doing. So the process is always just the next shot results in a strike, so I don't have to keep spares on the win.
There you go. Peter, Charlie saying also it's hard for ant fans to understand the shootout is just as hard as the grind. I think it's way more stressful because the decisions matter way more than the execution sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm moving off of strikes the way your ball goes to the pins sometimes. I mean, you throw one at it and it barks just a little bit, and that 9 goes out just a little late, or you're like, man, that was a little too high flush. You need to make that move in that environment before you 4-pin. Norm told me that years ago. That's something that he told me a long time ago. When they're striking a lot, you need to move before you 4-pin.
Right.
And that's it.
It seems maybe it feels like when it's a little easier, the picture gets really clear. You can watch, what general area you're throwing it to, but you can see it like slow motion as it makes the change of direction. I don't know about anybody else, but I can feel it as you're talking about it. I know exactly what you're saying. And that's what great bowlers do. And that's definitely what you've done over the years. Don't think that, quit that head thing, just saying. But it's been really fun to watch you and to watch your swing just looks like you are so committed. You can see it. And that's really fun to watch as somebody who loves the game. Go, oh yeah, this one's going flush. He might stone 9, but that's about all he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, and those moments are really fun, and that happened the whole last block of the qualifying portion. On Shark on the 48-footer, I locked it up and played fallback, and bombed them and came from like 100 and something back to make the show, and that same feeling, you see it from pair to pair, it's even better. When you're flapping the field doing stuff that guys are trying to make shape and trying to do this, and you're playing fallback, and you can see exactly what's going on, and you know exactly where it's going. Those are the best. When it happened on TV like that, you just hope it happens every time.
Right.
You bowl at that point. So, I mean, it's probably the most fun I've had in years. Like, you always have fun winning, you always have fun bowling other stuff, but like, when it comes down to like the moment and the fun and the intensity and like the passion, like I look back and I watch that and like I remember the bad shots from that show. I can't tell you what was going on the good shots. Like it just happens, and it's so much fun.
It's cool.
Very cool. This is a good point that Brian brings up. You didn't get to pick on any of the matches, right? So they all let you finish on the right lane. Is that because they didn't want to finish, or was the right lane just worse for most of them?
What does Brian think?
What? You're going to shy away from a question?
No, I'm going to tell you this. I'll put it this way. I've chosen to finish a match first one time.
Interesting.
And I lost to Pepe. And when I was in junior leagues, even when I led the tournament, I chose to start the match and to finish the match. I've been like that my whole junior career, and I don't qualify high enough to always have that decision. And people keep putting me in that position. Rick Steelsmith put me in that position my first show. Del Ballard put me in that position. You put me in that position. Every single it's like a running joke now. Before I bowled Dom at the playoffs, John Weber came over And, he's got his clipboard and everything. He's like, Dom, who's starting your match? And Dom's like, how much time do I have? He's like, about 7 minutes. And Dom was like, all right, I'll get back to you. And Dom went up there and threw a shot. And John was looking at my shirt. I'm like, hey, man, you can just go ahead and write down that I'm going to start the match. And a couple minutes later, Dom came over. And he was like, hey, I'm going to let him start the match. And John was like, yeah, I got it. He told me. Like, everybody likes to make me start. So I don't mind that. I'm used to it. I like it. I would rather have my own destiny in my hands. So
yeah, I think some guys make decisions. Mostly, I just go by which lane I think is better. And so but I know there are guys. I mean, we have certain guys on tour who are not going to finish last.
I kind of looked at it the other way. I always said I wanted
on
to
that
finish.
side of the lane.
Yeah, I would say I wanted to finish and just shut them out and be done with it. Like, I want to finish first because you're done. It doesn't matter. You get to sit over. You don't even get to throw your 10th frame.
And you know what? That's fine.
Yeah.
I can accept defeat sitting on the bench before I get a shot to win.
Yeah.
So I was out bowled at that point. But don't let me sit there and lurk in the corner and give me a chance.
Yeah.
Because I want that chance. I want you to miss so I can finish you off at the end.
Right.
So you give me my shot and I'm gonna take it.
That's how I started on tour. And then I got beat up for a while and I got to the point where I'm like, all right, maybe not. and then the last, 7, 8, 10 years, I just wanted the spot. I just didn't get to the spot as much. So,
yeah.
Kelly Green coming in with your Southern doubles partner down there in the region with Walter Ray. How much do you move off high flush, Walter? An 8th left?
Usually when Walter's ball hooks and goes high flush, I just move my eyes further right because I know there's some friction over there. No, I love bowling with that guy though. He's a lot of fun. He's definitely low key and people always ask me what it's like to bowl with Walter because we bowled out in 7 or 8 tournaments. We've only finished first or second in all of them, right? We've only first in all of them, and we don't have like 3 and 4, like 3 firsts and 4 seconds. And people are like, man, what's it like to bowl with Walter Ray? It's got to be pretty awesome. I'm like, let me tell you something. This guy, the all-time winningest bowler in PBA history, right? You would think, he goes off, he bowls on his own, winner. You'd think that we're bowling regionals together. And like 4 seconds, like my regional program record in title matches is really good too. A winning record. But this guy is single-handedly just like if I win, Walter, you win. I can't catch you. Like I can't. We both, and I'm so far back. I don't know why you even like worry about that. But like nobody really knows what it's like to have the greatest bowler of all time just hold you back. That's how the bowl, Walter. Nobody knows.
Well, you can have somebody hold you back. It might as well be the greatest.
Telling you.
Speaking to the guy who got 3 off the left, he says Dick is the GOAT. And I think this is pretty interesting. What do you think? Rick Benoit says it's impossible to teach people to think like you. Do you think people can learn to think like you do?
I mean, I don't.
Is it more primal than that?
I mean, I grew up in a bowling alley. I mean, my stepdad, who rest in peace. He would rest. He would bowl me. He would just mess with my nerves. He'd put his foot on the approach. He'd do anything he could to get under my skin. you know, I'd go down there and I'd bowl great for 5 or 6 games, you know, and I'd be like, look, Dad, I averaged like 230 playing second arrow. And he was like, oh, that's great. Like, play third arrow. And I'd go down there and struggle. And I'd come back and average like 220 or something for like 5 or 6 games. Like, that's good. And I'll do the fourth arrow, you know, and it was that same just gentle nudge, that same gentle push. And, you know, and then it turned into, you know, a lot of support. And then, you know, just making sure that, like, look, you're really good. Just keep learning, keep doing things, keep progressing, whatever it takes. You know, I mean, he would, you know, do you want to go bowl this? Do you want to go bowl that? You know, whatever you want to go do. And you know, then we started bowling high rollers. You know, I got to bowl against Chris. I got to bowl against Mika. You know, and then all those guys went pro. And he's like, well, you might as well follow me. And I'm like, all right, let's go. And, you know, I got my card, and I just kept kind of chasing after all those guys that I knew were really good. And, you know, he tried to bowl in the 80s out on tour, and he had to rabbit all the time. I got to hear horror stories about that stuff. I mean, I had free time in the bowling house, so I mean, is it possible for someone to think like me? Yeah, sure. I mean, if you're bowling all you're at, you know, spend 20 hours a day in the bowling. I mean, look at Belmo. That's what he did growing up, right? I mean, I think the only way to think those kind of thoughts and to do those kind of things, or to just actually to live that lifestyle. Maybe not the glorious lifestyle, and you have to be connected in the bowling center. But other than that, you get into it, and then you enjoy it, and then you go through college, you go through the ranks, and then you have a whole bunch of, you know. My entire life has revolved around bowling. I mean, 1988, YABA Nation's #1 Bantam Series leader with 446, I believe. I got my thing at home. So I mean,
want to see that plaque right there.
I have it. I will make sure you get a picture of it with it. It's probably my most prized possession behind my ball bouncers 148 average trophy my first season, like into the bigger kids league. So you know, I mean, I lived the lifestyle since, you know, I was you know, knee high. So yeah, you can think like me, but man, it's not easy. You have to do everything bowling related, and you have to take some odd detours along the way. So probably your head in places where it shouldn't belong.
Bowling is definitely its own addiction.
Bringing up Belmo, and you're talking about Walter Ray holding you back. It sounds like that's how Belmo's teammates feel like having him on their team. Top rope. Yikes.
He's out. He gone.
Charlie.
Oh, how cool is that?
Here we go.
That's pretty cool.
It's not bad.
It's a perfect picture.
Which face can't you see there? Right.
That's great.
Oh.
So I want to know who your favorite person to beat is. Do you have one? Who your favorite person to beat? Do you have one, or is it just everybody?
Man,
I know who it used to be.
So I've only bowled I bowled Mika twice on TV, and I'm 1-1. Other than that, I don't think I've bowled too many people more than once on TV. So I'd have to say that there's nobody I enjoy beating. That I have loved every competition I've had in, you know, the chance where I've had to beat someone. But I'd say that if I had to choose my favorite moment of all time where I beat someone and they deserved it and I really enjoyed it, was a regional in Virginia in 2008 when Chris Collins didn't know how to do math.
Oh.
And I was already finished in the 10th. He actually chose to finish that match too. It was wild. He left the 2-8, thought he'd won, and just chunked his ball down there because all he thought he needed was count on the first shot. Obviously missed the spare and turned around with a big smile on his face, and then realized that he'd lost. And that's somebody I probably enjoy beating. Like that mold of a person is someone I enjoy beating.
Well, I'm sure he handled it well because yeah, he's legendary.
Very much so, that guy. So probably. So I would say that him and that mold of bowler would be my favorite type of bowler to be.
Yeah.
Well, one of the first times I bowled Richie in a regional in Shawnee, Oklahoma, before it was in the place that it's in now, they turned that one into a bingo hall. We bowl in the final. Back then, I don't know if we did step ladders or not. I don't think we did. So it was just a position round to win. And it was
no.
Oh. There's another version.
Yeah, my mom kept score. I can show you the score sheet.
Was it a step ladder or was it just 2 out of 1?
2 out of 3.
Oh, okay. Best of 3. There we go.
Yeah.
So we bowl in the final. I'm going to say maybe around 02. 02, 04.
Yeah, 2002.
Huh?
2002.
Maybe somewhere in there. I'm starting to feel my oats a little bit on tour, having a pretty good little run out there. Richie, because he was Richie then. He polished me off. He pummeled me. I don't remember if we made it to game 3 or not, but he ran me over. He throws the last shot, strikes, puts his hands up in the air, and goes, "Bring on Pete Weber." He got by the little guys. Bring on Pete. Bring on PDW. So,
man, that sounded nice. Music.
That was my Billy Hall moment right there. Where I was just a little regional toe that was a stepping stone for Richie to go take on the actual real guys.
The big guys.
Yeah.
My screen doesn't go up high enough for you to see my hands right now.
I say Chris's Alzheimer's kicking. No, it just wasn't my Super Bowl. That's all.
Yep.
Okay.
That was my 23-year-old Super Bowl.
At the time, it was a somewhat. It was a stepping stone. We all knew you were going to be good. I mean, I found, while I'm doing this crack research that I do before these shows, I go to the PBA site and it says Richie Allen, age 42, joined tour in 1972. And if anybody's been a PBA member since before they were actually born, 78. So you've been a PBA member since you were born. You're not alone. Awesome. Got your card.
It sounds about right.
It's on. Yeah. There was never any doubt from the first time I met you where you were going to end up, both skill-wise and mentality. Like, so you were going to be a bowling guy.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate that. I really do.
That's true.
The only way that could ever stop you was you, and for a little while you did.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't stop it. You slowed it down a little, and then
in 1994, I bowled a tournament in Hawaii. I don't know how many people have seen it. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. I was like 15 or something. I don't want to give away the ending. I'll tell everybody that I finished the match last. I'll tell everybody that. But I think everybody should go back and watch it. It's really fun. It's really exciting. It's a great title match. It really is. It's really tight. Shot I know. So in the interview, or not in the interview, but in the talking of the show, I only wanted to be known. They asked if I had any great accomplishments, any outstanding achievements, and I was like, no. I just bowl in Kansas City. Toby Contreras drills my bowling balls. That's about it. That's all I got. All I said was they asked me what I wanted out of bowling. I just wanted to be respected by my peers, and it means a lot when you guys say that. So, thank you.
Aww.
Well, like most people know, when we drafted you for the league, and you ended up being the catalyst for us winning that. Huge part of that team. I'm sure if Mark had to do it over, he would have kept you and kicked me to the curb because you might have won again. But then I'd have had to bowl Belmo. And so,
Chris doesn't say openly a lot of emotional things. So don't get mad at me, Chris. But he definitely spoke really highly of you as a teammate and what you could do and how you work together with everybody and the trust that they gave you. It takes a lot for him to give up trust, and you take the ball and freely and effortlessly, and that's a huge compliment to how he feels about your talent, what you can do. So we respect you. Have always respected you. Enjoyed conversations with you. It's always fun and interesting and
nice.
Doesn't always agree with you.
No,
but respect you.
No, but that's okay.
I still have a theory about the whole Mark Baker deal, and I don't know. I've never talked to him about it. So when I got drafted, I had a pretty good week that week, and I got drafted. I almost feel like he wanted me in that anchor spot so I could redeem myself from what had just happened on the show. Like deep down inside, he knew that I wanted to get back at what had just happened with finishing second to Pepe and the way that it ended. I think that he knows. I feel like he knew that he was there. I wanted that at that point in time. After failing, I desperately wanted to succeed again. I didn't tell many people that I was home that week. I kind of relished that when they gave it to me. I may have whoa, are you guys serious? I may have pawned it off at first. I don't remember whatnot, but when I sat there and thought about it, I was like, let's go. Now the next time when they told me I was anchor, I was like, look, my ball sucks. You guys have got to do better this time around.
Okay, right. Mark's take on you from the very beginning was that you were always good for it. That you threw your best shots when they mattered, and that was his take. And that's from a guy, he made 28 shows, he won 4 times. He was more athletic, he was physically more talented than a lot of guys, but he didn't put it together on TV. So he always respects guys who thrive in that environment and look comfortable in that environment and look good in that environment. And so, I mean, we couldn't believe when that draft happened that you were still there. And so we feel like it was a stone cold steal from the get go, and it just it played well.
Man, that was so much fun. Woo.
It says something that you were anchor on Belmo's team as well.
For a split minute until I missed a couple 10 pins and they saw how bad my ball reaction was.
Well, your ball reaction sucked, and so at that point, it doesn't matter how comfortable you are. If with the moment, if your ball reaction stinks, nobody's comfortable when their ball reaction stinks.
Yeah.
You might still take the ball, but one of the few things that I've agreed 100% with Mo Pino, you can't outbowl bad ball reaction.
Yep.
It is really hard. Some people make a good run at it, but we've been at this for a little while. Let's just talk about this upcoming show. We got a live show this weekend, right?
Woo! Can't wait.
Going for a little loose change.
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean,
when
I
are you
know
hitting that?
my wife's pulling for me to win.
Yeah. My wife feels you. She's like, why don't you go make
Come on.
money like that? When do you go to Florida?
Say what?
When do you leave to go down to Jupiter?
Keep the same routine as last time. I'm leaving Wednesday tomorrow. So get down there, get the ring, hang out, take a day of rest, and, get over there and practice a little bit so I didn't leave. So just get reacclimated to the weather.
Okay. In your 3-game roll off and that'll be on Flow Bowling.
Yep.
When is that?
Saturday.
Same bowling balls? Do you bring in something different?
I drilled up a few extra pieces. I drilled up a fresh one of the ball that I was throwing on the show. So, I mean, we're going to like I said, more rev rate. Excuse me. Things are going to change. I have a feeling that if I, like I told Randy and the guys, I feel if I lead, I'm doing something different than the high rev guys, and that maybe Frankie quite can't catch on to. Because our rev rate and our rolls, our tilts are different enough times that maybe I can get away with something that he can't get away with. If I qualify in the middle or in the bottom, I'm assuming that hey, my look was probably okay, but I got beat by power and angle. So at that point, down that low, man, if we qualify in the 4th or 5th hole, there's a good chance we might take a big shot and try something that allows me to have more of the lane to myself for a longer period of time.
I don't think the rev rate's that crazy.
Well, those guys,
Frankie,
I mean, with compared to the
Smallwood.
first show, it is for the simple fact that, I mean, you got 2 of those guys that track super high, like Smallwood and Frankie, and then the other guys both have more rev rate than me. I think that more overall rev rate on the right side of the lane compared to the last show is simply because there were 2 games for lefties bowling. There'll be no for lefties bowling this show, so it's just double righty every game. So plus all the extra practice shots, I think there's much more training. So I think, like I said, if I qualify in the 4 or 5 hole, there's a chance that I might try something a little more drastic and create something for myself in a different part of the lane, just to take that outside shot and commit to that, and maybe try and pull off something that nobody else can do, and let them all just fight their own transition. I mean, it's easier to just mine. So I just think that if I lead doing something different, yeah, I'm gonna take a few shots from in, sure, and look at something, hooking it. I put one on last time doing that. Why wouldn't I? But if it's not there, I just got to keep my mind open and adjust just to what the lane's telling me to do. Whether it's more speed of the track, maybe it's something right of the track, maybe it's taking my hand out of it, maybe it's spinning it. Who knows, man? It's like I said, I'll be there early. I'll know when it's my turn. I'll just go bowl.
Keep it simple.
Man, my least favorite Jacobs of all of them. He's about 6th on the list. That's Steve Jacobs' little brother, but he's not wrong. He's happy to see the better Barnes helping out the show today. There's a couple of there's one other one up there. It's fun watching the world's best bowler and Chris and Dick. What am I going to do? It's true. There it is. Hall of Fame.
Equal.
Somebody about Z Cavarici pants. Man, we wore those in college. Dick wasn't.
Really?
He wasn't old enough to. He would have
I
been
remember
about
those.
12.
Hey, you guys all warm.
I remember Guess and Gerbeau, and man, I remember all that stuff. Come on, man.
But did you roller skate on Saturdays?
No, but I tight rolled my pants in junior high.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, all right.
So
Richie, I want to hear you talk about your kid. I'm sorry. Some habits just die hard. Talk about your kids. Let's tell us ages. Give us some info. It's fun to watch.
Piper is 9. She turns 10 next month. She's an amazing kid. She drives me up a wall. I haven't even seen her lately because she's got all her friends. She's got Messenger on her computer. Like she's gone. Yeah. So, Bella is 7. It's my little baby girl. She's comedian. She's funny. She really is. And and Declan's 2.5. And like I said earlier, he's changed dramatically in the last year, and he's becoming a boy, and he's a monster, and he likes to wreck stuff, and he likes to eat, and he likes to pick on his sisters, and he likes to be sweet to his mom, and he likes to hit his dad in the balls, and it's a lot of fun around our household. So
see how sweet that is.
Yep. So I do have a great story about Declan, but I can't tell it on here. But it's a doozy. When I see you guys, I promise I'll tell you that story. I laughed for 20 straight minutes. I couldn't help myself.
Well, hang around after we wrap up here. We'll talk about it then. So, are you planning on throwing the same balls?
I'm definitely gonna look at them. I only threw one. I looked at a slower one on the Phil Ball game 3, and it struck. It shaped up a little differently. I'm gonna bring out the newer one, the newer Legacy. I didn't give it a shot last time. Like I said, it all depends on what the lane's telling me to do. If it's telling me to cut my flare, I'm going to cut my flare. If it's telling me to increase my RG, I'm going to increase my RG. So if it's telling me, keep your head out of your ass and throw the same balls you were throwing before, like throw the same balls I was throwing before. So it's just, it's all about what the lane tells you to do. And then, you make your little micro adjustments from there, whether you're going to roll it, get around it, or, tip it harder, hit it harder, whatever the case may be. Just game plan is not going to change. Whatever ball I'm forced into, the process, the outcome that you want, the things that you're thinking about, none of those things are going to change just because the ball changes. So,
all right. One quick question: pin up or pin down?
It was pin up on the show the entire time. So,
all right. Well, tune in Sunday as Dick and the rest of the crew will be bowling. I think it's on Big Fox, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, we're on Big Fox this Sunday. So bowling for $250,000. It's a nice little chunk.
I'm not.
Like it.
There you go.
I am only bowling for a trophy.
No, you're not. It sounds good.
He's got his process. We'll leave him with his process.
You stick to you. You be you. Do what you got to do.
I am. That's my life won't change if I win. I will still wake up every day just knowing that I'm a major champion.
That's that's a great way to look at it.
It is. So tune in. Anybody else you'd like to thank? We're at an hour already. So
yeah, I mean, obviously, Motive and Vice, my mom, my family, all my supporters. Here's your chance if you guys want to support the stash and everybody who wants to grow one in support of me for next Sunday, maybe show off your dick stashes on social media, tag me in them. Let's get this stash thing going because I'm gonna roll with it. Everybody seems to like it so far, so I'm just gonna keep rocking it. So thanks to all you folks out there and Genesis. Bowling Monkey, everybody out there who sponsors me and supports me. I can't thank you guys enough for making this a fun ride.
So who do they tag on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook? Where do they tag you?
Oh man, I'm at Typical HB on Twitter and Phil Doubtright on Facebook. So
there you go.
Awesome.
I have not revealed my third social media yet, and I probably won't. But it's out there. Happy hunting, everyone.
Well, once again, thank you for coming on. Hopefully we get to talk to you again soon because you had a fantastic weekend. and we'll get to watch you Sunday on the show.
I'm gonna do the best with what I got.
He's been trying to support the stash. Yeah, Wesley's. He'll get back to you on that one. All right. Once again, thank you for joining Beef and Barnzy today. We'll be back Thursday with a Real Talk ball reviews, and we'll be doing 3 different balls: one from Global, one from Roto, one from Storm. Once again, support small businesses and those bowling centers out there. Help them get through this tough time. And when you get a choice, hold on. Along with Richie's aforementioned sponsors, please support our sponsors: Storm, Roto Grip, Niner Global, Vice Turbo, Coolwick, 3G Shoes, Master, Bowler's Mart, and Mark Baker Bowling. Until next time out there, well, stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.